right, traders, this is going to be a great lesson. We're going to be going over how to trade the best setups at the best prices, the updated price action analysis for the rest of this week. We're going to be going over the SPY. We're going to be going over some top stocks that I'm going to be watching. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. So first things first, we're going to be going over the SPY. Then I'm going to be sharing with you some stocks on my radar. We're going to be discussing how to trade the best setups at the best prices, when to buy the call options, where to lock in profits, when to buy the put options, where to lock in profits. It's going to show you how to trade both ways. So in terms of our latest video on the SPY, it had simply stated that the best price to buy puts on the SPY in terms of this week was going to be for this gap fill play. There was a gap to fill right here at 379.20. As you could see, it got too high of 378.72, narrowly filling the gap. And it ended up having a gap close reversal and going green to red on the day. Well, technically red to green, back to red on the day. I played puts once. There was 3 opportunities to play puts in total. I played puts technically twice today, once in the morning and once in the middle of the day. Middle of the day, I cut it quick. It was a Roblox put, cut my loss quick. And then in terms of SPY, I ended up playing a SPY put later on in the middle of the day, hit my target, locked in profits, got out perfectly, made a quick 10% return on the SPY puts. So one thing I do want to address, and we're going to be going over the updates, guys, because I'm telling you, if you watch my last video, it literally said $379.20, right around this 378, 379 gap fill reversal level. That's going to be the best price for puts. And was there confirmations to be buying puts? Yes, there was multiple tops. When you see SPY have a big sell-off right here, it's selling off at $378, having a massive pullback. When it rips back up like that, you got to take advantage of that put opportunity, and it's going even lower. So that's bearish. It went from green to red. So if you get that opportunity, if you get that gift where it rips back up towards this resistance level, you're going to want to play puts, and the best price is that gap fill level at 379.20. There was multiple opportunities. There was 4 opportunities, 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities to play puts on the SPY. I played it once on the SPY and it ended up working out very nicely, and then I just simply called it for the day. With that being said, I did also mention in the chat today, in terms of the best price for the SPY, I'd mentioned $377.80. That was the best level that I gave out today towards these highs, and then the gap fill level at 378. So it had a partial gap close reversal. The SPY partially filled the gap. It almost filled the gap at 379.20. There's a gap to fill still right here at 379.20, right? So it partially filled this gap, almost filled it, and it had a reversal. Were there confirmations to play for a partial gap close reversal? Yes, because there's such strong resistance, as you can see right here, with big downside potential at 378. This went from 378 all the way down to 372. As you could see, that history right here repeated itself. It dropped to 374, so a little bit low, a little bit higher in terms of support. But there was confirmation, very strong resistance at 378. Multiple tops during the day, and then in terms of confirmations to short midday towards power hour, it went red. This went red to green, back to red on the day, which is bearish, topping out multiple times. And also, if you look what it did yesterday, it did the same thing it did yesterday. And I brought awareness to this within the chat. If you were in the SPY and the SPX chat, I had clearly stated you're going to want to play puts towards the high. The high was right here. I said that right around here when I sold my puts. I said, if it retests this high, you're going to want to play puts. We're likely going to have a similar move like yesterday where we, rip back up towards the highs and then it sells off into power hour. And that's pretty much what it did, except this was a bigger downfall than yesterday. But as you can see, we saw a very, very similar pattern, a similar move to yesterday. That's how I was able to do well on my puts during the middle of the day today. It had a rip up in the morning. It had a rip up in the morning, and it had a nice little sell off right around 11 a.m. It had a nice little sell off right here, right around 10:40 and right around 11:30 a.m. Nice sell off, went red, rips back to highs, rips back to highs, and it goes a little bit higher, goes a little bit higher, then it sells off power hour, sells off power hour. Same exact pattern. So you got to adapt. You got to be aware of the patterns. You got to go with the best levels. There was a gap to fill at 375.07. As you can see, the best level was, like I said, 379.20. Now, in terms of the updated price action analysis, I'm going to be getting into that in just a moment, but I want to bring some awareness to this. For those of you who follow my channel, follow my strategies, I've been mainly known for someone who mainly trades during the most volatile hours of the day, which is typically at market open from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Now, as of lately, I've been trading stocks less and I've been more focused on trading the SPY and following the VIX. That's what I've been more focused on. And the thing about trading stocks is, especially if you're trading the large cap stocks that follow the SPY, like Amazon or even Roblox, some of the ones that aren't as big, they all tend to follow the SPY, and there tends to be delayed reactions with certain ones, but for the most part, they like to follow the SPY. So it's like if you trade stocks, if you trade options on stocks, like the larger cap ones with the huge market caps, like the blue chip ones, it's like you have to also follow the SPY. It's like you're trading two things at once. I mean, technically three things at once, because, in order to master the SPY, you have to follow the VIX. In order to do well in stocks, you have to follow the SPY and the VIX, right? So it's a lot easier if you kind of just cut out stocks and focus on the SPY and VIX, because I'm telling you, if you just focus on stocks, you have to master the SPY and VIX as well, and it can complicate things with delays, and it can complicate trades. That's what ended up happening to me today. I played a Roblox put option, got stopped out very, very quickly as soon as it rips against me, because I know if it does not have a reversal at this gap fill level, it's going to keep on ripping up. And the reason why I got out so quickly is because, when I played the put, it went a little bit above the gap fill level, which is bullish. And I had to cut it quickly, because if it goes above that gap fill level, it's going to keep on rocketing to fill the next gaps. And there was much higher gaps to fill. There was a gap to fill at 30.50, and there was a gap to fill at 32.83. Now, when I saw Roblox fill this gap and continuing to rip, that kind of gave me an idea and confirmation that SPY is most likely going to be ripping, because there were several stocks that were ripping in the morning, filling the gaps, while SPY was kind of delayed and didn't fill the gap right away. Like right around here, this is when Roblox filled the gap, when SPY was at 372.50. As you can see, SPY wasn't at the gap fill level. SPY was 2.5 points away from filling the gap, and then shortly after that, it filled the gap. So following stocks is very useful, but you have to follow the SPY and the VIX as well. If you follow all three, they're going to give you a sense of where the overall direction is heading. They're going to give you a better sense of potential delays. So like an example of a delay was Roblox was looking very bullish. It ripped up to fill the gap like several stocks did in the morning. SPY was looking the exact same, except SPY didn't fill the gap right away. SPY took some time. There was a delayed reaction, right? So it just kind of having that confirmation of, wow, stocks are shooting up and they already filled their gaps and they're going higher. SPY is shooting up, but it hasn't filled the gap yet. So maybe I could play some SPY calls for the breakout, right? Some things like that. That's an example in terms of like ways to think. But you want to follow all three. Ideally, it's ideal to follow all three. You don't have to trade stocks, though. You can just trade the SPY and SPX. But what I'm telling you is, if you follow stocks and you follow SPY and you follow the VIX, they're gonna tell you certain things that you normally wouldn't see. And at the end of the day, if you are trading stocks, it is in a sense like you're also trading the SPY and the VIX. So you really have to master the SPY and the VIX. So those are some things that I want to bring awareness to. Now, this is really important in terms of some things that I'm adapting and changing with my strategy. So throughout this past month, almost every single time I've played the morning, I haven't been doing well. Normally I would do well. In terms of some changes that I've been making, why am I not doing as well as I normally would in the morning? Lately, I've just been trading the SPY in the morning. I haven't really been trading stocks in the morning. I've just been trading the SPY, and the trades haven't been at the best levels. They haven't been 100% the best setups. And I've been taking some L's in the morning, just consistently just taking 10% loss on my contracts, cutting my losses quickly. I don't want to lose more than 20%. I'll try to get out around 10-15% and just taking my loss, right? Normally I would do very well in the morning, but as of lately, I've been studying and I've been noticing that I haven't been trading that well in the morning. And the morning is the most volatile time of the day. It tends to be the most volatile time of the day. And there's typically a big one-sided move where it just has a massive spike or a massive pullback. And then we get some sort of short-term micro reversal at around 10 to 10:30 a.m. There typically tends to be a short-term reversal. So if SPY is a big rip up, usually in between 10 to 11, it'll start to pull back because it's a little exhausted, right? If SPY is a massive pullback, usually around 10 to 11, it can start to have a little reversal, right? So what I'm noticing is, in a sense, if you trade the market open, it's extremely volatile. And the trade happens very, very quickly. It happens extremely quickly, like rapid fire, right? So it might not be your style. It might not even be your style to enter a situation that extremely volatile. Now, some of the things that I've been disliking about, trading at market open is, in a sense, it's like a Russian roulette. The chart is less developed. The chart is less developed. The market just opened. We're having a big move instantly. You can try piggybacking off that momentum, but it could reverse at any time. It typically reverses around 9:50 to 9:50 to 10 a.m. for short-term reversal. But what I'm telling you is, in terms of the morning, in terms of the market open, what I'm noticing is it's overall a big one-sided move. And if you're on the wrong side of the move, you have to cut your loss extremely quickly. And to do that, you're really going to want to use a market order with options, and you're going to want to trade options that are extremely liquid. I've been in several trades where I use a limit order. As soon as I submit it, due to the volatility in the market and the move going against me, I do not get filled. And that situation can cost me 5 to 10% within a minute. So I would recommend a market order if you're trading options that are liquid, like the SPY, that have a very tight spread with a lot of volume, a lot of liquidity. That's one tip I can give you. But guys, basically what I'm telling you is, as of now, I've mainly been trading the SPY. I'm still going to be trading stocks. I'm still going to be focusing on stocks, but I've mainly been trading the SPY. And what I'm realizing is, in terms of the SPY, I am starting to realize that the best time to be trading it is like after 10:30 a.m., after 11 a.m., during the middle of the day, when the big move has already occurred, the chart is developed, right? So like, for example, this is a massive move to the upside, massive move to the upside. That's market open. So now we know, since it had such a massive move, we know the best prices to buy calls are towards, the open right here towards this 370 level, or even 367. We also know there's very heavy support to potentially buy a call at 370 towards the lows. And then in terms of resistance, looking at yesterday's chart, we know there's a lot of resistance at around 377. We know it's been pulling back at around 1030. It's been selling off towards power hour. So we know these things. The chart is more developed. So also later into the week, when the weekly chart is more developed as well, it makes it a lot easier to trade SPY. So one thing I would recommend is, if you're not doing well in the morning, or if it's just too volatile for you, or you don't like that type of like style, where you're kind of just piggybacking off that momentum in a sense, and you want to trade a more developed, more predictable sense, and wait for the big move to already occur and then look to play the reversal of it, I would recommend just skipping the market open. If you're not trading well at market open, just skip it. You can watch it and you can learn from it, but I wouldn't trade from it. If you want, you can paper trade in the morning. But if you're not doing well in the morning, one thing that I would recommend is, because I'm telling you guys, I've been paying attention to my trades all this month. And I normally don't trade SPY as much as I do. Like I said, I've been developing more scalping strategy. And for me personally, I've been noticing my best trades on the SPY this month have all been during the middle of the day. That's where they've been. It's because it's more predictable. It's because the chart is more developed. Like, for example, what do I mean by that more developed? Like, SPY has a massive morning spike. SPY has a massive morning spike. What is the chart telling me? I'm looking at the 5-day chart. I'm saying, okay, this had a nice pullback. This had a nice reversal right here at around 10:50 a.m., around 11 a.m. It had a nice pullback opportunity for puts. Right here at around 3 p.m., nice opportunity for puts, right? And I'm looking at the trend and I was saying, wow, this was the same exact thing. And I took advantage of that during the middle of the day and I made a 10% return on puts. And I could have played it again towards the end of the day. I didn't. I wasn't focused on it. I wasn't watching at the time. I didn't play it, but I gave my analysis and I gave my plan out within the SPX and SPY chat within the Discord. So hopefully people took advantage of that opportunity. But you could see it was the same thing as yesterday. So what I'm telling you is, if you see that similar move, that similar pattern, and the chart's already developed, it's a lot more simpler and it's a lot more easier way to trade if you wait for things to develop. So one tip I'll give you is, if you're not trading well, or if you don't like it, and this is something I'm really going to start taking seriously and start following, skip the open. Don't trade the market open. You could just watch it, but don't trade it. Just wait for the chart to develop. Wait for that big move to occur, and then look for that opportunity to reverse. And another good tip I can give you is, wait for the weekly chart to develop more. One thing I've noticed is, I think one of the worst things you could potentially do, and what I'm seeing this, is trading market open at Monday. The week just started. There's no development. So the longer you wait into the week, the more development of a chart you're going to get. You're going to have a better understanding of the best prices to buy, the best prices to sell. Like, see how the chart is even more developed now. It was more oversold today in the pre-market. It was more overbought today during extended hours. Now we know the best prices to buy puts are right here at 378, and the best prices to buy calls are right here at 366, 367. And that's for the entire week. So there you go. You wait for those big moves to develop already instead of trying to predict them. But one thing that was predictable was the gap fill strategy. My strategy told me before that big move occurred that 379.20, this gap fill, this resistance level right here, 378 to 379.20 was going to be a great opportunity for puts with this current, bear market recession, we're in, right? So that was all predictable. And the way I was able to do that is because the chart was developed. I realized that this had a massive pullback right here at 378. It had a rapid fire crash to 372, right? So that's a big downside potential level. And I also understand how when SPY cracks massive support, you can see right here, you have massive support at $380. And there's a gap to fill towards that support level 379. Like I tell you guys all the time, when SPY cracks massive support, it rips back up to the previous support. And then it starts to react as a resistance because we're in a bear market. We're in a bearish trend. When it rips back up like that, that's the opportunity to create another bull trap, because that previous support right here, that wick that cracked and hit new lows, when it rips back up, that's the opportunity to create another bull trap, because previous support turns into resistance since we're in that bear market, and you play for the gap close reversal, right? So I hope that helps, and I really hope that can give you some tips and great information. And guys, I'm telling you, so basically what I'm telling you is one thing I'm seriously tweaking is with the way I trade SPY. And this goes mainly specifically, especially for the SPY, like midday. I'm going to be focused on midday and power hour. When the chart's more developed, when the massive move already occurs. So like just miss out on the market open. Now you know where the big move is. The chart's more developed. And then another tip I can give you is wait for the week to be more developed. Wait for the week to be more developed. The longer you wait into the week to trade, the more the chart is developed, the more predictable it's going to be. But this right here, this is all we really mainly needed. We now know in terms of this week, 368 to 368 level, best price for calls. 378.70 to 379.20, best price for puts. You want the tops, you want the bottoms. I just gave them to you, and that's for this week. So what I just said, that's for this week. So in terms of this week, 367, right here, 368 for calls, 378.70 to 379.20 for puts. Now, in terms of this week, we could get this low. So if you want your true best level, write this down for calls. Your true best level for calls is going to be right here. There's a gap to fill at 365.86. This is where you buy the calls for the gap close reversal. So understand, SPY just almost filled, it partially filled this gap right here at 379.20. You can see right here, partially filled, and you can see right here, major resistance at 379.98, right? Big downside potential, big downside potential. It's partially filling the gap to have a reversal, and now it's going to try to fill that gap that's waiting to fill below 365.86. So you could have used the gap close reversal strategy like I did today. I played more towards the middle of the channel, not 100% the best price, but I made a quick 10% return, and I literally sold those puts at the bottom for the time being, right? And now for the call side, you wait for 365.86. So there you go. With my last video, I gave you guys the best opportunity for puts. Now I'm giving you the best opportunity for calls. And in terms of the new best levels for puts, like I said, in terms of the tops, $378.70 to $379.20. Now let's talk about the middle. So in terms of the middle, what are the best middle prices to play the SPY? So what we know is SPY had a massive gap up, and it's been topping out towards key resistance, massive gap down, went a little bit higher, topping out towards key resistance, but it keeps on closing weak. It keeps on losing some gains into the close, And we just had a massive gap down to, 370. This was in the 367s in the pre-market today. And we have a gap to fill below at 365.86, right? So in terms of the middle, what are like the middle make it or break it levels on the SPY? This is the middle of the channel we're in. The middle of the channel we're currently in. We are going to call it the middle zone. So this is the middle zone. Let's just take a quick look here. Okay, so the middle zone, this is the make it or break it zone. 374 to like 374.50. That's going to be our middle zone. 374 to 374.50. If that zone breaks down, reacts as a resistance, play the puts in the middle. If that zone breaks out, holds, I wouldn't play calls, man. I would stay away from calls. If you want to play calls, You got to be buying into the fear. You got to wait for a big pullback. Like this is a great example of buying into the fear. I had people swing trading puts. They sold it open because they know how SPY works. It has this massive gap down. It likes to rip back up, have the morning spike like it did on Tuesday. And then it's going to try to rocket to fill that next gap at 379.20. So you know if you're in a SPY put and it fills this gap and it keeps going up and it's not turning this previous closing price to resistance at 375, where is it going to go? It's going to go up to fill that next gap, just like Roblox did right here at $379.20. And one advantage to me watching stocks today was, I was thinking about getting SPY puts at the 375 level today, not at the best price, playing it for a gap close reversal right here. The reasons why I didn't is because Roblox kept on going up to fill the next gaps. And SPY was slowly doing the same thing, meaning SPY is kind of delayed and it's going to kind of follow in that sense. And another reason why is there was no confirmation. There was no confirmation. There was no reason to buy puts at 375. Yes, it filled the gaps and we have a massive gap down at 370, so it could go back, but like there was no confirmation to buy puts. It had a breakout. It formed higher support. It kept breaking out. No confirmation. For me to buy puts at previous closing price, it has to react as a resistance. It has to form a lower high. It has to look bearish. It has to be struggling. It has to be sitting towards highs. It can't be breaking out, forming higher support. It can't be doing that. I don't care how good the price is, right? Then I just wait for the next gap if it reacts bullish at 379.20, right? So that's the advice I can give you heading into the rest of this week. Best price for puts for the top 379.20 to 378 zone. The middle zone is 374. That's your make it or break it support to 374.50. Reacts as resistance, reacts bearish, play puts at that level exactly, right? And then in terms of the call zone, best price for calls, 365.86. So there you go. I give you the three best levels. That's the channel we're in. The middle of the channel, 374.50. Top of the channel, 379.20 to 378.80. And then bottom of the channel, 365.86. Trade at those levels, best prices only. Cut your losses quick if it goes against you, and you could switch sides. So in terms of what are the best times to switch sides? What are the best times to switch sides? Well, if you're buying calls here and it goes against you, it's not the best trade to switch sides because we're at the bottom of the channel. It's not the best situation to be, buying to then buy puts and try to make your money back because it's oversold for the micro. And if you're buying puts right here and it rips against you, not the greatest situation to buy calls because we're towards the top of the channel. So if you're going to switch sides, what I would recommend is switch sides on the middle of the channel where things aren't as overbought, where things aren't as oversold, where it's more stabilized, where it's more of you cut your loss quickly and you flip sides. That's what I would recommend. And that's if you're going to trade the middle of the channel. Trade the best setups at the best prices. These gap close reversal levels will change your life. So in terms of SPY and how SPY is reacting, let's take a look here real quick during the extended hours trading session. And this is going to be the final update for today. So on 375.24, we are at 375.24 on the SPY. It is currently having to move up. This just had, again, another move down to 372. So if 375 to 374.50 reacts as support, we're going to be on track for a breakout to fill the gap at 379.20. If 374 breaks down, if 374 cracks, gets taken out, very bearish, man. SPY is going to start selling off. From there, it goes to 372. You could see right here, man, this is like that make it or break it level on the SPY. One of your key make it, and look at where it bounces. You see how well, remember how I mentioned 378 right here? Right here, this 378 level right here. Look at this. You have so much support right here at what is this? $372. See how I'm always looking for big move levels. It's easier to see a big move level if you look at the 5-day 5-minute chart, the 5-minute chart or the 10-minute chart. But this is going to be a key support level, 372. 372 cracks, bloodbath if 372 cracks and reacts as a resistance level. Right now we're in the middle, 374, 375, make it or break it. Breaks out, holds, forms support, fills the gap at 379.20. When is this gap going to fill it at 365.86? When's it going to fill? It's going to fill when you see a reaction, a bearish reaction at 372. When 372 cracks, reacts as a resistance, bearish reaction, it's selling off. That's when that gap is going to start to fill. Pay attention to these overreactions and look for the reversal at the key levels I gave you. That's my thoughts. That's my analysis on the SPY. Let's go over some stocks here very, very quickly. Let's see. So in terms of Lucid's kind of sitting here towards this gap fill level at 18. Lucid cracks 18. You could look to potentially play a put with a very tight stop towards 1820, 1830. This stock looks very bearish. I'm considering entering some. I'm considering taking a swing trade on this. Not going to be an easy trade, but overall COGT is looking bearish. We're currently at 930. I'm looking into the strikes. The strikes are going to be an issue. There's a lot of open interest opening up on the 7.5. I really want a $9 strike on this, man, but this is looking bearish. I might consider playing puts on this. This looks very bearish. This stock, you see this have a red day tomorrow, look to play some puts, man. This does not look good. It's just, the problem is, man, it's a small cap stock and the strikes just aren't that ideal. If we had a $9 strike, it would be ideal. I don't want to go too far out of the money. These are only going to do well if these can become in the money. So, you know, it's going to be tough, man. Maybe a $10 strike. This is going to be tough. It's just the chart looks so bearish, man. We look so bearish on this one. Let's take a look here. So not too interested in this one at the moment. Let's see. Also, people were asking about SQQQ. We have a lot of support with these wicks down here. We have a gap close reversal right here. It's due for a gap fill play at 63.96. Overall, it wants to pop to 64, then have a reversal and start to pull back at that 64 level. Once it cracks $56, it goes down to fill the next gap at 51. Those are the key levels on that one. Triple LY, set a price alert right here, not for this gap, but for this gap. Look to play puts. Look for a gap close reversal at 323.48. That's going to be the best price to play the puts on that one. And then in terms of other stocks, I mean, that's mainly going to be it. And our last one will be on Roblox. Roblox is getting interesting. It's been on my radar, guys. Look at this. We have a very strong resistance channel on Roblox in this $34 range. The highest gap to fill above is at $32.83. This stock has been extremely generous to me this year, playing the puts at key resistance levels. When it has that morning panic at open, it tends to continue. So look for a morning panic at open. But for this one, what I'd recommend is we topped out at 31.94 today. There's a gap to fill at 32.83. Wait for 32.83. Best price to buy puts on Roblox, $32.83. I'm telling you, man, look at this. There's a gap to fill here at key resistance. It fills the gap, has a reversal. There's a gap to fill here at key resistance, fills the gap, has a reversal. All these lines are from the past trades that I've been making on Roblox. This is going to be another phenomenal situation, guys, to ride out puts on Roblox. It wasn't too long ago. We were trading in the 2350s towards those 52-week lows. So wait for puts at 32.83. When it reacts as a resistance, play the puts and ride this back down to about, you know, $30.50, $31, $30.10. There's going to be a good trading opportunity coming up on Roblox puts. Wait for the best price at the best setup. I'm telling you guys, that's going to be one of the number one setups, along with that SPY 379.20 level. That's my thoughts. That's my analysis in terms of the overall trend and how SPY has been reacting this week. It's been having morning rips. And then it's just been selling off towards 10:30 to 11 a.m. And then it rips back up, goes a little bit higher, sells off power hour, rips back up, goes a little bit higher towards power hour. So that's what we know about the SPY now. I gave you the channel. We know how it's been reacting. It's been having these morning rips. It's been topping out very early at around 10:30 to 11 a.m. after having exhaustion over ripped. It's overextended. And then it rips back up, goes a little bit higher into the close, and then it has a hard sell-off. This is what we know about the SPY. Use what you know about your SPY to the advantage when you're trading the channels. You know, I gave you the middle levels, I gave you the top levels, I gave you the bottom levels. That is how to trade the best setups at the best prices heading into the rest of this week. I'm going to be wrapping up this trading session, guys. I have a dinner to be attending. With that being said, if you do want to be a part of Traders Society, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. Everything is explained on that page. You get access to live trading sessions that we do every single day at Market Open. You get access to the Discord channel where you get to network with the members in the community within the Discord to master the gap trading strategies together, trade the best setups at the best prices, also developing a new scalping strategy on the SPY. You get access to the video lesson library where you get to learn how to trade the best setups at the best prices. You get to learn all of the gap trading strategies, all the price action strategies that I've created and used throughout the past decade. You also get access to risk management and position sizing and psychology and mindset training, all within the video lesson library. The real-time trade alerts, the watch list, the stock analysis, the real-time analysis. You get to ask me questions live on spot within the chat and also during the live training session. That's going to wrap it up. If you want to join us, it's instant lifetime access. As soon as you join, you can get started tonight and trade with us live tomorrow at Market Open. That's going to be the first link down below in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow live at Market Open.